Okay, so this is everything. All there is what seems to be happening, and it's whole and complete. There is nothing missing, there's nothing too much, and of course, there's nothing separate from it. So the natural reality is an undivided reality. So us sitting in front of our screens and in our rooms or wherever we are sitting is the natural reality. This is undivided. There is no hidden reality. It's not that we talk about some mystical absolute reality that's beyond what happens or that's within what happens. There's just what seems to be happening, and this is undivided. It's not undivided because of anything. And of course, there is no one there experiencing this being undivided. The only thing that divides itself is the me. The only thing that divides itself from everything else, that separates itself from everything else, is the me energy. And it doesn't do that really. It only happens within its dreamt experience. And experiencing, I am something on my own. I'm a separate entity. I'm a thing that's separate from everything else. That's separate from the room, that's separate from other people, that's separate from everything around me. The me even says I'm separate from my thoughts, I'm separate from my body, I'm separate from my feelings. That's what you can hear in a lot of spiritual teachings who claim to not be the body and stuff like that. I'm not the body, I'm not the thought. So that's the person's experience, basically. I'm something that's separate. I have an own autonomous existence, and everything else is something else than me. That's where this experience of separation comes from. Liberation is the simple and plain collapse of that energy. It's just the end of the impression to be someone. And what automatically collapses with it is the whole seeking dynamic, because the me is the seeking dynamic. It's not that there is a me who does do seeking. No, me and seeking is the same. It's just different words for the same energy, if you want so. So as I said, liberation, or what we talk about here, would be just the collapse of that energy. And the collapse of that energy goes together with the turning out that it never existed, that there isn't anything, that there isn't a self or a me within our bodies. It's just an illusion. There is no one there. So that's it, basically. So all there is this, and whatever, it's whole and complete and all those things. There's nothing to realize or to find. It's all good. That's what I just said. It's all good.
Hi, Andreas.
Hello.
Yeah, you said something to me on Sunday. I asked you, is there really no one in there? And you said no. And I said, but I see you in there. And you said, no, you just see yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, you see
So
your projection.
So my refusal to accept that there's no sense of anyone in there is because I have to have my reality as fixed that I am.
What? Say again, please. Sorry.
So my refusal or inability to accept that there's no sense of anyone being in that body, would you say?
It just contradicts your experience. So it's not a refusal or an inacceptance. It's just not your experience, because your experience is I'm here and I'm separate. And so.
And for me, that's unquestioned, like I am real.
Absolutely. Oh, totally. And that's not happening for anyone. And that's whole and complete.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Question. What does good mean in it's all good. It means it's all blindly perfect and doesn't need to be worked on by a me. That's how good this is. It doesn't need any transcendence, any transformation, any work on. That's a very simplified use of the word good. The question, but I have so many ideas of how it could be better. Oh yeah, and that's good. That's all right. There's no need to work on that. There's no need for this to change because it's just ideas. It's just what seems to be happening. You having ideas on how it could be better. There isn't anything that could be better than having ideas on how it could be better. That's it. That's it already. Would you say that there is only appearances? Well, sometimes I say it like that, but it's not really that there are appearances. This isn't an appearance, or this isn't something that appears in terms of appearing, in terms of coming and going. So in that sense, I wouldn't say that there are just appearances. Okay, what's the liberation in liberation? Yeah, that's the thing. In liberation, there isn't anything in there which is liberated from anything. Sorry. So in that sense, there is no experience of liberation. It's just another term for the collapse of the me, but there's no one left who lives in liberation. Where are these questions coming from? What do you understand by time and movement? Well, time and movement can't be understood really because they don't exist. They belong to the personal experience, which says, I'm here, I'm now here, or which has the experience of, I'm present and I'm moving on in time. It's a feeling, actually. It's an energetic sensation, time and movement. And this energetic sensation collapses when the me collapses. So in that sense, there is no time and no movement. Only within the dream it feels like that. I'm here, there is something happening, there is a continuation of happening, that's movement. Are we able to control what to focus on? Oh, no, of course not, because it's this we and the impression to live in focus, to have a focus, that's part of the dream. So, no. I experience something, I focus on, I live in attention. All of that is the personal dynamic. Okay, question. What's collapsing in the collapse? The illusion to be someone. The illusion to be someone is what seems to collapse. That's what we would call liberation then. Which isn't something that's real, of course, but that's where the story belongs to. The nothing in an appearance is a second aspect of it? No. The thing is, there's just what seems to be happening, which means that sitting in front of a screen is real and unreal. It doesn't have aspects. It's not even one reality, it's a no reality. But we still talk about this, what seems to be happening. in that sense, it's also not appearing in terms of its coming and going. It's a timeless, real and unreal no thing. William.
Yeah, I really don't even want to ask you this because I feel like I'm going a bit nuts, but there's really no such place called Hamburg.
Yes, exactly.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. No, because you know, when I got off the plane, there was a sense this is Hamburg.
Well, I didn't have that when I was in Hamburg.
No, but then on the Monday morning, I was sitting in the hotel watching the trains out of my window, and then that was just apparently happening. There was no experience of it. Was like there was no one there to experience it. And then when I came back, I was like, I haven't been in Hamburg. There's no place called Hamburg.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been there either. Oh, really? This is not just some weird talk. There is no Hamburg. Nothing happened. We didn't meet on the weekend.
I hugged you a few times. Did that really happen?
Who knows? Who cares, basically?
That's why you can't get this at all. As a me, you can't get this. Because for the me, there is a real place and a real happening. Like,
now there is the illusion of an experience of having been somewhere.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Tony Parsons talks of unconditional love, and that to me is powerful because the experience is invariably that love is conditional. Yes. And if it is unconditional, then there is nothing for us to do. Oh, yes, exactly. Absolutely. Actually, this us is already dreamt, that there is unconditional love or a happening and us. So this us is dreamt already. So everything is unconditional love. In a sense, that's what I meant in the beginning. It's all good. There isn't anyone who needs to work on anything. This idea that I have to find fulfillment, this idea that I have to watch my thoughts, heal my past, am responsible for feelings or whatever, this is illusory. Already there is no one doing anything, and already all the things the person believes to do are futile because they only happen within its dream. This is the perfect natural reality from which no one is separate from. So there is no method, there is no way to live life in the right or wrong way. There is nothing to do. There is no one doing anything already. Yes, Prisby.
Hi, Andreas.
Hello.
Can we say that it is like substanceless, eternal motion? Because if we look at it, it's like everything is ing. It's like being, nothing, happening, hearing, seeing, but there is no noun. So there is no, okay, but what it is that doing all these things? Nowhere to find.
Exactly, there isn't anything. So in that sense, nothing can be said really. I would say it's this which looks at things and tries to say something about them that's unreal. So I really don't have any words for this because there isn't even an experience of this.
So it's, to be honest, at the end, even if it's real or unreal or happening or not happening or whatever, it doesn't really matter.
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't matter
It's
at all.
all just the same thing appearing as
Whatever, whatever, exactly. And even this, no one can know and no one needs to know. Yes, exactly. Nothing matters at all. It's a blind reality that will never be understood, felt, experienced, known. Yeah.
And all these happenings, when we see it as, okay, this is a wall, a separate wall, this is a chair, it's just like someone that was made up, this me,
Yeah.
I just named it.
Well, you experienced it first and then you named it, but the dynamic of experiencing is dreamt already, not just the naming of it. What you described first, this, yeah, I'm here and I'm experiencing a wall.
But the experiencing itself is just whatever.
Yes, exactly. Yes, it's not real. It's not something that can be defined or known. That's a dream. I'm experiencing and I know that I experience. Oh, no, no one does. You have no idea, so to speak.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks. Yes. Wyatt, I think. Is that how you say it?
Thank you. What is now the nature of your relationships? How would you in any way be able to talk about a relationship with another?
Well, in the end, you're right. It's impossible because there is no relationship. There is no such thing as a personal relationship or as a relationship between two me's. On the other hand, the body just functions quite normally. So it's just like we seem to relate to each other right now, which we don't because there is no one.
Is it possible to have some sort of, I don't want to use the word understanding because we're talking about something that's inarticulate, but is it possible to have some shared knowledge with somebody else of, for instance, yourself and Tony Parsons or Richard Sylvester, all these various people who are coming from the same whatever it is, liberation that you are. What's your relationship, dare I say it, with them?
Well, we don't have a relationship.
No, I
don't have a relationship.
But I mean, Tony is very happily married, and Claire is a lovely lady, isn't she? And you feel when you see the two of them together that that's something joyful, that's something terribly positive that's coming out of both of them.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, because it's a meeting. It's an apparent meeting of two bodies who don't need each other for their fulfillment. So every character is just very freely allowed to, well, allowed, you know, every character is just very freely allowed to play out as they play out.
Yes.
So it's just not a relationship anymore in the personal sense, because that's what the person would regard as relationship. Two me's kind of relate to each other and try to fulfill each other. And this brings about a lot of stress. That's
no psychological projections involved at all. No. Yeah.
Maybe there are kind of projections that's coming from the conditioning and stuff, but as I said, the other one doesn't need to fulfill the other one. So even if there are kind of projections or ideas, they don't matter because they just are what seems to be happening.
And what you've said leads me on to my next question, if you don't mind, about this residual, almost feels like a residual character of some genetic predisposition or earlier conditioning, as you mentioned the word conditioning. So could you say something about what feels like something residual?
I think, sorry, I want to be precise here. What's residual? Can someone help?
Residual, something that still remains.
Of course.
Still's there. Still under the water, so to speak. Perhaps non-conscious, but exactly. But
yeah, I think the term still doesn't really fit here, because it sounds as if it actually shouldn't be there. But yeah, of course, what still goes on happening apparently is an alive body that has a kind of character, but no one knows really where this is coming from. In the end, that's just what seems to be happening. But if you want a story, it's just a mixture of all those things: the genes, the past, the conditioning, the trauma, all the experiences the body has in its life. So
the food you like or not like, how you like the room that we can see behind you, all those things, your aesthetic, what paintings you like, and all that sort of thing.
Just is what seems to be happening, and there is no deeper truth to it.
Yes.
And yes, and that's not only in terms of what still happens. No, that is the full-on natural and total reality. Me living in this apartment and mostly liking. That's just how it is. That's the natural impersonal reality. Exactly. But I don't have a relationship with this room, exactly as I don't have a relationship with other people.
But can you sort of express, probably absolutely impossible, what this has given you at a sort of the deepest level? I mean, I can see your smile, I can see your eyes, I can see, but can you say at all what this has given you in some way? A completeness, I suppose.
No, not at all. That's impossible, because there is no deeper level of fulfillment or contentment here. Nothing gives me anything, and the smile comes maybe from there not being a deeper level of contentment.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Really? That's or without the need for a deeper level of contentment. So there's just a very free smile here right now, but it doesn't have to be a smile. It can also very quickly change into something else, and it'll be also fine.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. A question in the chat. What about developing a positive self-concept? Like, I'm beautiful, I'm worthy, I'm blessed, I'm grateful, I'm loved. Or having high self-esteem. It feels good to think positive about yourself. Is there any truth behind thinking positive about yourself? Oh no, not at all. Not at all. It's just another part of the self trying to talk itself into a beautiful state. And the basis for this idea of a positive self-concept is that the person ultimately doesn't feel all those things, because part of the personal experience is a sense of unfulfillment. And the problem is that there is no answer to this. So the person invents all those positive ideas about itself, where it doesn't work. It's just constant work. And because there is no I, which is beautiful, there is no I, which is worthy, there is no I, which is blessed, there is no I, which is grateful, at least not as an ongoing state. And there is no I, there is no I, which is loved. This I doesn't exist. That's the thing. So to me, it's very useless and unnecessary. But on the other hand, it's understandable, of course, because most people live in a story about themselves. I'm not beautiful, I'm unworthy, I'm whatever. But it's both is trimmed. This I is trimmed. So some people even tell themselves that they are divine or something, and then they get high on, oh, we are divine beings, and stuff like that. Yeah, the me loves that. It's like taking drugs. Dario.
Hi, Andreas.
Hello.
I want to reflect something back with you. The ideas of states of consciousness that you perceive reality in certain ways through your state of consciousness. My question is, does these different perceptions still arise after a shift, or are they completely gone? Or
Yes, they're completely gone. There are no states of consciousness. Consciousness is illusory. And that collapses. The experience to be conscious and experience it, to experience states.
but can it be said anything about what is happening?
No.
Can it be a recognition of what is going on?
Well, there would be an apparent recognition of what seems to be going on, but it has nothing to do with what's actually going on. Because what's actually going on is nothing.
Yeah. So even there's no Hamburg, there's no city. This is the actual, what is actually going on, but there can still be a communication about Hamburg, and there can still be the idea that I am in Hamburg, or
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, totally. Because conversation about Hamburg is simultaneously nothing and everything. Oh yeah.
It's the same nothing wherever, like
exactly. This is nothing.
And it's not changing.
And it's not changing, but it's also not staying the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Andreas, it's like, I don't know how to describe it, but on the one hand, it just becomes more and more it's becoming more and more obvious that seeking never works or leads to fulfillment, and that it's just a prison. It's not even, because like, I suppose when there's more belief that dualism could work, then it feels like, okay, sometimes I'm in a prison, but it's worth it because I get some stuff every now and again. Yeah. Whereas now, there's not even the sense of getting good stuff anymore. It's just being
it was just a dream. To get anything out of seeking was part of the illusion.
So now it just feels like I'm in a full-time prison. Well, not a full-time prison, because there's sometimes glimpses, but mostly in a prison. Well, when I'm here, I'm in a prison without any... Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's basically the personal experience. Yeah.
But then at the same time, I'm desperate for the world to be real so I can gain something knowing that I won't.
Yeah, it's a bit schizophrenic, but
it is honestly mental. Like, it's really like a tug of war.
Yeah, that's how the person, that's the personal world. I hate it, I love it. I hate it, I love it. I hate it, I love it. I hate it, but I need it. I love it, but I want to escape from it. I love my life, but I want to escape from it. I hate my life, but I can't because I love it so much. Oh, yes. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Andreas.
Hello.
Yeah, it's like one confirms the other in this just loop of this and that, like good and bad, and so that, you know, the seeking fulfillment just confirms that there's a lack of. It's just so daft.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it's just obvious that there isn't, well, they're just, yeah, I don't know, without that reality being given to anything, and then obviously there's just, yeah, this doesn't give reality. It's just can't. Like,
well, nothing is real, so you can't give anything reality. It's not, there's just nothing real in that sense.
yeah. Yeah,
And one
anyway.
also can't give this any reality, that nothing is.
Yeah. And you know, I was thinking about experience. I don't even know what experience means. Like, it seems to be like a relationship. You were talking about relationship earlier, and that's all me is in relation to.
Well, it's the illusion of that.
Well, yeah.
Yes, how can you understand experience when it doesn't happen?
I mean, like, we talk about it like it's so, you know, it's just like that's what everyone speaks about, their experience. But
exactly, everyone speaks about their experience and how it is for them, and so on, and it doesn't exist even.
yeah, and it appears that it's kind of given existence by that something kind of energetically holding on to whatever, you know, is happening. And I don't know, like scratching the itch just confirms the itch somehow.
Yeah.
So something like irritation, which was really irritating. So, like, well, it's without some of that, it's just irritation. Like, what? It's just like an itch. That this is not, you know, why should irritation be? It's only the kind of holding on to it that makes it a thing.
Yeah.
And then, anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Can you say there is no one? It is just functioning of the body? Well, not really. This sounds a bit like an explanation, but yeah, that's what seems to be happening. Life, feelings, and behavior or body in its surrounding, things one can't divide it. The body and its surrounding, it's all undivided. But yes, that's what seems to be happening. Yeah. Yes, Katerina.
Yeah, hey. So what happens here is that obviously it's taken personal, and then the self tries to eliminate itself and kind of makes itself unworthy, feeling like in a desert, like sitting in the back room, like these kinds of, and on the other hand, it's already appears senseless to ask any question, because any question also is already just about that dynamic again. And the dynamic again is like the mind knows it's not the answer, but it's still so real. So I don't know what the question exactly is, but it seems like there is like a vicious cycle where it just turns around itself, and probably it cannot, I don't know, I can't explain why, but this is like, I don't know where this, like I'm looking for a solution, I guess, and there is no solution. So
No, yes, there is no solution. Yeah, there's just this pointing out that this dynamic in itself isn't as real as it feels, but that's not a solution to it. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, what you describe just is what seems to be happening, including how you feel and.
Mm. So there's no like end. I guess this all has this idea that there is like an end goal.
Absolutely.
There's like an end to this somewhere,
Yeah.
like
there is
some kind of salvation happening.
exactly. There'll never be any kind of end. It won't come. It won't happen. There's just what seems to be happening, and there'll never be this end.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you will be out of it. When it's
Exactly.
over for you, and when you can say, it has ended for me. I'm happy now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made it. I have finally, I'm over it.
Finally, yeah. A real breakthrough, and I made it. Yeah. No, doesn't exist. It's just a blind hope. Hope for a made-up story that comes out of this apparent desperation of being in the wheel, but that wheel too, in a very weird way, isn't as bad as it feels. It's just what seems to be happening. Doesn't need any salvation or resolution or an end of it.
So it's already fulfilled in itself.
Kind of, but for no one. So there is no one who will additionally see how fulfilled it is, which would again be the idea of an end. Oh, when I can see how fulfilled it is, then. But yeah, it's totally fine. There's nothing missing. There isn't anything that would be more fulfilling, or this experience that the person dreams about, this when I'm good, this just doesn't exist. It will never happen.
Thank you.
Thank you. And it doesn't need to happen. What happens, life, is totally fine being this already. Is there any truth or substance to our happy experiences? For example, speaking about a joyful vacation or a beautiful wedding or recalling a love weekend. Is there any truth to our positive, happy memories? No, of course not. No, they just are what they are. Happy memories, happy experiences. But there is no deeper truth to them or kind of a substance. No, they just are what seem to be happening, as well as unhappy memories or where other feelings were in the foreground, sadness or so. None of that has any substance. Okay, and it's a quote. I'm just a dog barking. This is what every conversation is, just barking dogs. I love that from you. No meaning and no one behind words. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I was actually quoted. It's not, I quoted it already from a guy called UG. So, but yeah, it's brilliant. It's gorgeous. That's what this is, just what seems to be happening. And our conversations doesn't have more depth than dogs barking or birds. What do birds do? Tweet? I have no idea what they do. Okay, in English, I have no idea. In Germany, I know. Okay, singing. Okay. So no one can cut chirping. Oh, a lot of, okay. So no one can come and go. Yes, exactly. No one can come and go. Or in the personal experience, no one has come. No one has been born, because the person's state is presence and its idea is, I already came. I'm here now. And then there might the idea come that I could fall away or die at some point. But this coming and going or this being is illusory. Yeah, there is no I. Nothing is coming and going, not just the I. This isn't coming and going. That's what we talked about before. This is not appearing in terms of it comes and goes. Yes.
Hi, Andreas.
Hello.
Yeah, on Sunday I was saying to you that when you're talking in German, it's obviously more threatening for me because I don't have a defense to ask questions. Whereas I said, obviously, when you're talking in English, I feel like I've got a chance because I can ask you something and I might get something. But I'm just realizing I don't have a chance here either.
Yeah, it's quite independent from the language, and it's actually also quite independent from any circumstance. You just don't have a chance.
I don't have a chance. I can ask you every question. I probably have asked you every question imaginable over the last 3 years, but I never had a chance and I still haven't.
Yeah, exactly. You never had a chance. That's true. The me never had a chance to become fulfilled. A fulfilled, enlightened, awakened, self-realized, totally happy, absolutely free me. Yeah.
And not only that, but I never had the chance of getting anything out of you.
That's true. Yeah. Or anything. Same. It's not just that I can't give anything. Nothing can give anything. It's an empty world. It's an empty universe. And no one ever got anything out of that. Anything, I mean, when we talk like that, of course, what I mean is some kind of fulfillment or value on this deeper level. Okay, another question. Thank you. So then, if positive experiences or having high self-esteem are empty pursuits, what about charity work or helping others? It's what should be the goal in life when we wake up? Well, charity work or helping others is as insubstantial as everything else. It might be what seems to be happening, but it doesn't have any substance. And of course, what this message points out is that there is no one who will wake up, and that there is no such thing as a life with intention and goals. So when it turns out that the person is illusory, there won't be any goal left. And there is no room for anything else. Well, the idea of anything else kind of implies that this is something already that could have the possibility of there being something else. But in the end, this already is no thing. This already isn't a circumstance. This already isn't one, which could theoretically have a second possibility or opportunity. This isn't one even. So, yeah, there can't be anything else because this already isn't anything.
So can you say these are all descriptions for nothing?
Well, those are, if at all, apparent descriptions.
Yeah.
Because there is nothing to be described.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. It's empty words. Back to the birds or dogs. That's what this is. There is no one who wakes up. That is scary. Oh yeah, of course. Seen from the person, liberation is much more like death. Liberation is like, seen from the person, going to bed at night and not wake up in the morning anymore. When this illusion of self-consciousness collapses. And it has nothing to do with all those spiritual stories, or it doesn't have anything to do with all the personal stories, where there is a dream about a personal fulfillment, just what we talked about, the end of something horrible and the arising of something beautiful for me. That's a hope. The horror is dreamt. It doesn't need the arising of something greater or better. It's already perfect. Okay, question. If I'm resonating this message, can I die? Well, this I doesn't exist. And the resonance with this message is what seems to be happening. But there's no predictable outcome of this, of course. But for me, it's all right if you die. So. The responsibility, is responsibility something of the person? Well, yes. Yes and no, because of course the body just does do things, and it may seem as if there's a responsibility, but this impression of I have to do it, this feeling of I'm the doer of things, that's where the idea of responsibility comes out of. This impression that I can consciously act, or that I'm consciously able to choose how I am, what my behavior is, what my thoughts are, what my feelings are. That's a dream, of course. This I is dreamt, and in that sense, responsibility is dreamt. I know that's what some people want to make us believe, so to speak, that we are responsible for everything. Every thought, every feeling, every action, every behavior lies in our hands. That's a dream, of course. So there is no responsibility. But there's also no one who is free from responsibility. That would be the other side of the coin, or what the person might believe. Then I'm free to do whatever I like to do. Well, there is no one. Is there any value to living? No, there isn't. Of course not. That's the freedom of this. Life is what seems to be happening. Living is what seems to be happening. And it's total and whole and complete and perfect. But it doesn't have any value. It doesn't have any deeper reality, any deeper value or meaning or sense or purpose. The person's dilemma is that it just can't enjoy living. It needs something deeper to make its presence worthwhile. So for the person, is the value of living much more important than living itself, than life itself, because life itself doesn't lead anywhere. It doesn't give anything to anyone, and it doesn't lead anywhere. That's why it's so desperately dependent on life having a value and a purpose and meaning. But it doesn't have those things. It's empty. A beating heart is empty, and everything. Katerina.
Yeah, so I realize what happens is mostly that the experience or whatever is said is kind of heard in a polarity. Like immediately, if there's no responsibility, okay, then irresponsible. And then just going for a walk on a highway or like doing really reckless stuff or something like that. And at the same time, there's no value to life. Okay, then it's totally devalued.
Yeah.
Like that must be the answer. Like you can only think in plus or minus.
Amazing. It's amazing. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it does. That's what the person does instantly. And I say life, yeah, as you said, life doesn't have a value. So it's wrong or bad or no, it's not what's being said here. It just doesn't have an inherent value. It's just itself already for nothing. No, but that's something that the person can't really deal with.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, and I say that life or being alive is what happens, and it's perfect and total and the absolute and stuff like that. For the person, it's so weird how this can be perfect, but not having a value to anything or anyone. It's really a seen from the person an utterly useless perfection.
Hey, Andreas.
Hello.
Hello. So today, sitting here, there's this really strong sense of need that like fills the body. It's just like this need, and it doesn't really have a direction. And I realize it's like, we talk about the seeking behavior and all that, but like even before the behavior is this need, like something. It's just like something. I need something.
Absolutely.
I have absolutely no idea what I need.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it gets attached to all these different things, right? These different circumstances or whatever.
Yeah, whatever comes along.
Yeah, but like right now, there's no idea, like what to do with this like sense of need or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah, but it feels so physical. It's just like,
Oh yeah. Yes. It's not
yes,
theoretical. What we talk about here isn't theoretical at all. In the end, what we talk about is the person's very physical, energetic, and existential experience. And that is need. I'm separate and I want to become one again, or I want to be fulfilled, or I need something.
yeah. There's not even the idea of becoming one or the
That's
idea
true.
of
Yeah, it's
not
without
even
an idea. Yeah.
yeah, or even dropping the self or whatever. Like there's no idea anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you sharing.
Thank you. Mm. So energy is real? Oh no, of course not. No, nothing is real. There isn't an energy or a certain energy that is real. Nothing is real. Okay, I have this deep sense in me that I can't do this. I can't deal with life. I haven't in me. Can you speak to that? Well, well, the sense is what seems to be happening, but of course this I is dreamt. Of course you can't do this. Of course you can't deal with life, basically because there is no you. And life, or an alive body, is what seems to be happening. And there is no need for you or for an I to manage it or to operate it. It does all do everything by itself, so to speak. All thoughts and all feelings and all behaviors already done and processed, apparently, by the body itself. This I is illusory, that I that so desperately tries to do life and has the impression of I can't do it, that's purely illusory. So only so only nothing is real. No, that's not what I said. What I said is that nothing is real. I didn't say nothing is real. I said nothing is real. Come on. Yes. Yes. Straight to the point today. Okay. All we can do is discussing the nature of illusion, period. Yeah, and even that's illusory, because the good news is that there is no illusion. So we can't even do that really. Because that's what's being said here. There is no me, there is no illusion. There's just what seems to be happening. There's nothing hidden. There is no mystery to it. There is no illusion in it. There isn't what happens and a very weird and mean illusion or something. No, there's just what seems to be happening. And there is nothing there which hides it. There is nothing there which lives behind a layer of illusion or unclarity or something. No, the natural reality is this, and it lies openly and beautifully here. It's this. It's just this. All right, I think that's it. So there is no message. There's no suggestion here from my side. There's just what seems to be happening, and that's the natural reality. Well, it's not even a reality. Everything's just naturally itself. It's so simple what we talk about here. Impossible to understand and impossible to comprehend, because it's already simply only what seems to be happening. Thank you very much for joining. I wish you a lovely day. Nice to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank you so much.
See
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
So much.